Greetings, redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Of course, I am your gracious host, the one and only J Red. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/Reds View. That's right. Thank you, all of the new subscribers. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are good people. I rock with y'all. I'm down with y'all. All that good stuff. So shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to the old school subscribers, who's the OGs who've been rocking with Reds View since day one. We're still growing. I encourage everybody, if you enjoy the show, help it grow. If you like the show, if you watch the show, help it grow. And all you got to do is something simple. Hit the share button. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. And then you can also hit the dislike button if you don't like the content. It's all good. We just want some traction. You can also help by commenting under this live video and just sharing it, man. A lot of y'all do share the video, so I appreciate y'all for doing that. And a lot of you tune in each and every week to hear me, my point, my opinion on different things like that. So I appreciate y'all. So just making sure that we are live everywhere. Okay, yeah, we live. Okay, bet. So shout out to everybody who's watching this right now from Facebook and YouTube. If you got the link from IG, come on in. But when excuse me, we got a lot to discuss, man. We got a lot to discuss. I missed out last week, but I've been busy. I filmed a new episode of Who Gave You a Podcast with CJ. So y'all go support that page as well. Who is youtube.com/Who Gave You a Podcast. We just dropped our latest podcast. It's been doing pretty good. So shout out to everybody who's been supporting me and CJ. But it's time to get to Reds View. Now, y'all know what's been going on. Y'all already know what's been going on. And it's this Diddy case. This Diddy case is the hottest topic right now. You have other topics that are trending, but I didn't formally get a chance to address this Diddy case and what I think about it. I discussed this past weekend with CJ. Y'all can go to Who Gave You a Podcast on there, but I got to talk to my people here on Reds View. So the question of the night that I want to know, don't come in here with your feelings. Don't come in here with your feelings. Don't come in here with your feelings. I want you to come with logic. All right. Ladies, come with logic. Fellas, come with logic. All right. So the question of the night, was Cassie a freak or was she a victim? Was Cassie a freak or a victim? See, Cassie Ventura has taken the stand to testify against Diddy. Now, when I found out about this, I thought it was going to be either a good thing or a bad thing for Diddy. Now, the good thing would be she's slipping up and it's nothing that's coming from this, right? It's backfiring. And some people felt this way, and then that's what it's looking like. The bad thing is it could help the case, right? But let me just sound off on this, man. My thoughts on this Diddy trial, it's all BS. It is went to crap. I'm talking about turds everywhere. Let's talk about Cassie. All right. So, disclaimer. Do I think that Cassie is a freak or a victim? Right? I think Cassie is a victim. She is a victim of abuse. But when you're talking about sex trafficking, coercion, and all that other stuff, I don't believe that. All right. I believe Cassie is a victim, of course, with abuse. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen Cassie get beat up by Diddy, which I don't vouch for at all. And I wish that would have been a domestic case. But this trial isn't about that. It's stemming from that, but it's not solely about that. This trial is a RICO trial, and it's regarding prostitution, sex trafficking, drug use, and different things of that nature. But I believe that Cassie was a freak. If we're talking about this RICO trial, if we're talking about sex trafficking, what Diddy is being charged with actually, and Cassie's participation in it, Cassie was a freak and not a victim. She's a victim of domestic abuse. She's a victim of physical abuse, physical assault, everything that she sued Diddy for. But when you're talking about this RICO case, nah, she done already got her money. She didn't already got her money, and she won her lawsuit, and I think she got another $20 million from something else too. But I think Cassie was just a willing participant that also should be getting charged in this RICO trial. See, what's really getting me about this Diddy RICO thing is RICO is supposed to be organized crime, organization crime, meaning there's an organization behind it. This whole one man RICO thing just ain't cutting it, man. It's not. You're trying to say that there's a RICO trial, a RICO case with one man. So Diddy in this, and I'm vouching for Diddy on this particular issue because I see a lot of BS and I see a lot of loopholes. And what they do in the media is try to depict him in a way to where we think he's a bad guy, right? Well, we know he's a bad guy, but that isn't why he's on trial. So what they do is, if you peep the game, back in, what was it? Was that last year? Yeah, last year when they released that video. I think it was back in May, I want to say. May of last year. You remember when they leaked that video of Diddy beating up on Cassie in the hotel? When they leaked that video that happened back in 2016, that set the precedent for what was going to come. They knew that that was going to tamper with the jury selection. They knew they were going to get a RICO trial. I think this trial is just about public embarrassment for Diddy to make sure that he doesn't have any endorsements coming out. He's not going to sell any records anymore. People aren't going to want to be affiliated with them business-wise, on a personal level, whatever the case may be. That's what this trial is showing me. Also, what this trial is showing me is that Diddy is a big freak. He's a big freak. Now, I'm not vouching for Diddy being a freak, but I also believe that this is America. You can have sex with who you want, but not, I mean, legal, right? Legally, you can have sex with who you want, but it's not illegal to be freaky. Okay. It's not illegal to be freaky. Now, whatever swings your way, whatever floats your boat, you can do what you want to do. Right. But you can't imprison somebody for being too freaky unless they're doing something illegal. But when you're talking about sex, these freak offs, right? They're trying to redefine what sex trafficking is, and they're talking about freak offs. Newsflash, people, freak offs, that's not sex trafficking. You mean to tell me with these freak offs, and what we're understanding is Diddy would hire these escorts, him and Cassie would hire male escorts to have sexual intercourse with Cassie in front of Diddy. That's what you call cucking. Cucking. Now, is that something I'm into? Hell no. Nah. That's something Diddy's into. But as these reports keep coming out, I'm just trying to see where the illegal matter is in this whole Diddy thing. Because I keep hearing he beat on Cassie. He forced Cassie, like he hit her in the head with a pan and all this other stuff. But I'm trying to see what the criminal part is. But anyway, back to Cassie. Let's talk about Cassie, all right? Because I've been seeing this whole thing of, Cassie, she was only 19 when she met Diddy. She was only 19 when she met Diddy, and Diddy had a huge influence on her. Diddy forced her to do things and all this other stuff, right? He got into a young woman's mind. Now, my thing is this, right? Cassie was 19, which Cassie was grown when she got with Diddy. Now, I'm not even sure if that's when they started dating. Is that when he met her? I'm not sure, but I know they met when he was when she was 19. Now, the thing is, at 19, you're of legal age, right? You're not legal to drink, but you're legal age. And my big thing is her being with him for 10 years. 10 years, that's a decade. You mean to tell me that he had like all the access that she had to different people in Hollywood and people in the music industry and everything like that? Why does she stick with Diddy? Right now, one could argue, well, he dangled her career in front of her face and all this other stuff, man. No excuse. She was a grown woman at the end of the day. And what we have to stop doing is making it to where if somebody is grown, right, they have so much influence. You mean to tell me another grown person has so much influence over that person to where they can't make decisions on their own? You can get up and call 911. You can leave, and I know they say, "Oh my God, he this and that." Listen, man, she was 19 years old. I mean, 19 when he met her, but she was grown all those 10 years. People try to stick on that number 19 and act like she was just this, late teenager that was going through all this stuff with Diddy. No, she was a willing participant. She was a willing participant with all this stuff going on, right? And if she was initiating things and the reports are showing that she requested to, get urinated on and all this other stuff, then how is it just a Diddy thing and not a Cassie thing? And like I said, man, I think that this whole thing is just them redefining what sex trafficking is. I think that this case, I see Diddy walking away. A lot of people be like, I don't see him walking away with everything, but there hasn't really been anything to really show any significance of him needing to be behind bars. Him needing to be behind bars. You mean to tell me just because he has sex a lot, the baby oil and hiring escorts and stuff like that? Now, if you want to talk about prostitution, I get it. Hiring somebody to have sex is prostitution. So if you're going to get them on that, okay. But sex trafficking, they're trying to redefine what that is by saying, hey, if you invite somebody out, like say that these women, right? And y'all forgive me, I think I got a piece of hair in my eye. But you know how some people will say, these women will say, I got flued out. I got flued out, right? If you say that you got flued out, that means that what? A man paid for your flight to come out of town to kick it with him, spend money on you. Now, if sex is involved, what the feds are trying to say is that's a form of sex trafficking. If I meet you on Instagram, see that you fine and all this other stuff, and then I offer, like I tell you, look, if you come out here to Atlanta, I'll pay for your flight, I'll pay for your hotel, I'll pay for everything, as long as we can kick it. And I want to have sex with you. And you be like, shoot, you look good. The woman to be like, oh, you look good, whatever the case may be. She flies over, y'all have sex, y'all kick it, and then she goes back home. They'll say just because she flew across state lines, that is a form of sex trafficking, which is a very dangerous precedent. That's very dangerous. So anybody who vouches for that, I'm looking at you sideways, and it's like, you got to think, you can't be saying flued out no more. And it would make me not even want to engage like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go across state lines. So if I'm real horny and the girl lives in Nebraska somewhere, and then we both know we want to link up to have sex, if I go to Nebraska just to go and have sex with her, is that a form of sex trafficking? If she says that I'll pay for your way to come here just as long as we can have sex, is that a form of sex trafficking? It's ridiculous when you look at it. So yeah, my thing is, I think that this whole Diddy trial is just really laughable. And one thing I want to address too, I saw, because this Megan Thee Stallion stuff is going on as well, with the whole Tory Lanez stuff that's happening. So, and then who is it? Haley Bailey. Y'all been hearing about Haley Bailey? I hope I'm saying her name right. I be want to call her Hallie. I don't know, Haley, whatever. But DDG's woman, right? They have some type of situation going on. So I saw a post on Facebook, and the post on Facebook said, I believe Haley, I believe Megan, I believe Cassie, I believe black women. When did Cassie become a black woman? When did she become a black woman? I mean, help me out. I don't know. When did Cassie become a black woman? See, what they try to do is classify just because she's racially ambiguous and stuff like that. And I've heard that her mama has some African DNA in her, but that don't mean that Cassie is a black woman. Y'all are sounding real ridiculous. And what's happening right now is that a lot of people who have had abuse and victims of abuse, what they're doing right now is shunning you and trying to shame you for just thinking on a different wavelength, looking past what's being presented and look at what Diddy is being charged for. Just to classify and just put everybody together. Oh, Megan's getting done wrong. She got shot. Cassie had all this stuff. I'm not saying what Diddy did was right as far as abusing Cassie. I'm only talking about the trial. I'm only talking about the RICO case. The RICO case is straight BS. This RICO trial is BS. And Cassie, if you're talking about the whole sex freak off thing, hey, I'm not shunning anybody from doing what they want to do. All right. You ain't gonna catch me at a freak off. But when you're talking about this freak off situation, Cassie is just as guilty as Diddy if she initiated it. And there are text messages that shows that she wanted to do it. She couldn't wait till the next freak off. But what do people do? They try to write it off as, well, she was conditioned to think that way and believe that way. That was a full-grown woman that stayed with Diddy for 10 years. 10 years. How about she was just a freak that participated? Now, I'm not negating the fact that she was beat up, right? But that was a couple thing going on, domestic situation. You could have went to the police for that. But what happened? Hey, she didn't want to go to the police. She filed a lawsuit. It is what it is. I'm not mad at her for getting a bad. But when you're talking about what has transpired as far as this RICO case, it don't hold weight because you're trying to say, yeah, she was a victim because, and this is another thing while it's on my mind. Cassie admitted that she didn't want to leave because she didn't want nobody to replace her. Y'all remember reading that? She didn't want anybody to replace her. So some people's theory is Carisha, Young Miami, Diddy was showing her a lot of love and, popping out with her like he did with Cassie. And then that's when she wanted to leave and get a husband out of something like that. But I don't like, I just think all this is BS, man. I hate to see it. If you're gonna, now people say that Diddy, has something to do with Tupac's murder and all this other stuff, man. All that stuff isn't proven facts. But if this was a situation where Diddy was on trial for abuse, I would get it. But this sex trafficking thing, nah, not at all. So you can't say, because I saw something like Cassie was like, yeah, I was in fear. I did the freak offs. I said yes, and I initiated them because I was afraid of what Diddy was gonna do if I did not do it. And it's like that don't even make any sense. Then she said, I loved him. The reason that I did it is because I loved him so much. I didn't want to do the freak offs, but I loved him so much to where I feel like I had to do it to keep him. That don't even make sense. You can love somebody, and if something is damaging you, you just don't want to do it. Now, you can't, and I'm talking about not morals. I'm not talking about morality. I'm talking about in the court with the law on the trial. You can't go in that courtroom and say, well, yeah, I did it and I initiated, and it's text messages and messages that says that I wanted to do the freak offs, but in reality, I was just afraid that he was either going to leave me or beat me if I didn't participate in it. And I loved him. I did it because I loved him so much. Nah, that ain't going to fly. That ain't going to fly, ladies and gentlemen. That ain't going to fly, ladies and gentlemen. So I think like altogether that Diddy had freak offs and Cassie was just a big freak like him. That's it. Now, again, she's a victim of abuse. She's a victim of domestic violence, but she's not a victim of sex trafficking. She's not a victim of being at a freak off if she wanted to be a part of that. What kind of shit is that? But anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think Cassie was a big old freak, or do you think that she was a victim? I know some people are going to be sensitive in the comments and all this stuff, and I believe in protecting women. All right. I saw that video with Diddy, and I didn't agree with that at all. That was hell nah. But if we're looking at the trial, it's something different. But anyway, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. Now let me move on to this. So Boss Man D-Lo, did y'all see Boss Man D-Lo getting exposed? Boss Man D-Lo got exposed. So let's look at what happened. He responded. So let me get y'all out the game. So Boss Man D-Lo allegedly was texting this transgender. I don't know if it's a model or whatever she is, whatever the case may be, but the transgender woman exposed Boss Man D-Lo for jumping in her DMs and all this other stuff. All right. So let's take a look at Boss Man D-Lo's response to it. Give me a second to pull this up. All right. So Boss Man D-Lo. So Bossman D-Lo and Timmy Bansum's drama explored as rapper seemingly denies he tried to link up with the latter. All right. So that's the transgender's name, Timmy Bansums. Okay. All right. So rapper Bossman D-Lo responded to claims that he tried to link up with trans influencer. That's what the trans is. Timmy Bansum. Taking his Instagram stories on Monday. Um, he said, I ain't trying to beat nobody on the internet. I don't even play them games. Just keep ish in the streets when you decide you want to play with the real street ninja. All right. So that's what he responded to. And I'm trying to see if I could see the text or something. But this is what the transgender said. Okay. Is that the post included what appeared to be Boss Mandilo's contact information saved on their phone. Bansom reiterated their claims in a series of stories on their main account. It said, more of the story is your favorite rappers are in my messages. I don't usually do this, but he literally asked me to buy my own flight to Orlando and munch on him for free. Maybe if he would have started the conversation off nice, it wasn't on some hornball, this wouldn't be out now. Okay. So this is my thing. All right. So Boss Man D-Lo got exposed by a transgender. This is my thing with that, man. So Boss Man D-Lo, if he does, and I'm not saying that he does, but if he is into transgenders, if he is gay, while people could feel a way about that, I'm looking at it from a different scope of him being exposed. How come he had to be exposed for conversing with that transgender? How come that transgender exposed them? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Because what you're doing when the transgender exposed Boss Man D-Lo, it was to make him look bad. So what if Boss Man D-Lo, his sexual preference is transgenders, his sexual preference is men? If that's what he likes, now I'm not, vouching for anything that he do. That's his sexual preference. But if he isn't doing any harm to you, I guess maybe he was supposed to pay for something. But why, when it comes to men, right? Those men who might be, we don't know what their sexual preference is, but if he's hollering at you, why do you feel the need to expose him to make him look bad? Are you saying that being a transgender is bad, or are you saying that his sexuality is bad? If your sexuality is you're transgender and you're homosexual, whatever the case may be, why are you trying to use that as negativity when y'all fight so hard to be accepted by everybody? My problem is with that particular community, they fight so hard for the rights and to be accepted and be inclusive in everything and all this other stuff, which okay, you do what you do. But when you get mad at a person, a dude, right, who is trying to holler at you, or a female that's trying to holler at you and don't want their business out like that, you get mad and want to expose them. So now you're using their sexuality against them. You see how that works? The same similar thing. Like that's what happens. It's like people are part of that community. They'll say if you don't agree with their lifestyle, if you want to denounce it or whatever the case may be, they'll say that you're homophobic. People in that LGBT community, they'll say, oh, you're homophobic if you don't like me, or you don't want to date me because I'm transgender or whatever. You're transphobic. You're all this other stuff, right? So if a man is trying to holler at a transgender and then something goes wrong, you want to expose them. And usually this happens when it's money exchange. Y'all remember what happened with Bobby Valentino? Remember he got exposed, by that transgender. I think he didn't want to pay up or whatever. But how come for that community you strive to make yourselves accepted so much? You try to have it normalized, but when situations like this happen, you want to expose somebody, and that means that you're exposing their sexual preference, and now you're making it look negative for them to have a sexual preference. If Boss Man D-Lo is into transgenders, that's just what he's into. Allegedly. If he's into men, that's just what he's into. Allegedly. All right. But Why are y'all using what people do, man? People from that LGBT community, what it seems like they do, they'll use and weaponize the sexuality against somebody when you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not vouching for what Bossman D-Lo's doing. This is all just talking about the whole exposed thing. How come so if homosexuality and transgenders are supposed to be accepted and supposed to be normalized, how come when somebody is trying to talk to them and something goes wrong, they have to expose somebody? I thought that that wasn't supposed to be a negative look to be transgender. It wasn't supposed to be a negative look to be homosexual. You follow what I'm saying? And something happened with Boosie, right? You remember, but maybe like 2 years ago, the whole D Wade's son thing, right? D Wade's son, who's transgender, Boosie had a lot to say about it, and Gabrielle Union had said, "Well, Boosie, you must be gay. You must be gay." And Boosie pointed out, he's like, "Why are you? Why are you weaponizing that against me? Why are you calling me gay as if it's a negative thing? I thought that." Being gay or transgender isn't supposed to be negative. So why are you using that against me and trying to make me look bad? It don't make sense. But yeah, if Boss Mandilo likes to swing that way, how come he can't swing that way in peace? How come he has to be exposed? You see what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just my take on it. I'm just, it's the pot calling the kettle black. All right. If that's that man's preference, how come it has to be exposed? People's sexuality is their business. People's sexuality is their business, and they shouldn't be exposed for that. And if they are, how come that community, transgenders, gay, LGBT, whatever, if I say, "Oh, I don't agree with that lifestyle," they're like, "Oh, you must be gay then. You must be gay." Now you're trying to flip your own sexuality on me and acting like it's supposed to be negative when you're fighting for rights for it to be a positive thing. Just something to think about. I don't know. It's weird, but shout out to Bossman D-Lo. He said that he wasn't trying to holler at Miss Nigga, whoever that is. Hey, shout out to him. More peace to him. But anyway, let's move on. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, have y'all been seeing Joey Badass? Joey Badass, it's Joey Badass versus everybody. Everybody meaning the West Coast. Yeah, Joey Badass, he's been putting out diss records towards Ray Vaughn, Kendrick Lamar. Who else has jumped in there? Daylight. So it's pretty much the West Coast All-Stars versus Joey Badass right now. Joey Badass is holding his own. Now, excuse me, I said on the Who Gave You a Podcast episode this past weekend that I wasn't really tuned into it because to me, it felt like the cruiserweights were battling each other instead of the heavyweights, right? But I tapped into it today and I'm loving what I'm hearing. It's a great look for hip hop. Now, I know it's not as popular. It's definitely not as popular as Kendrick versus Drake and, all that good stuff. But it's still worth a listen. Joey Badass is snapping. I've heard Ray Vaughn's responses. And I think it all started at the beginning of this year, I want to say, with Joey Badass or something like that. But who's been following it? Y'all can let me know in the comments if you've been following it. But Joey Badass has been going in. I heard is it as Cheek? It's funny because he's on Peekaboo, the song with Kendrick Lamar off GNX, right? And his name is spelled AZ and then space CHIKE. I don't know if you go by As Cheek or whatever the case may be, but anyway, he's responded, put out a diss record, and I just want to applaud them for being MCs. I'm really loving what I'm hearing. They all have been snapping his lyricism. It's somebody else from TDE that's been going back and forth too with them, but it's basically Joey Badass repping New York versus everybody, and he's been holding his own. It's been getting real spicy, right? But the reason I'm talking about this is because Joey Badass has been calling out Kendrick Lamar since the beginning of this year. And he called Kendrick Lamar out again, like twice in the past couple of weeks. Now, to me, I felt like it was clout chasing, to be honest. Now, I can say this comfortably. I'm not interested in seeing Kendrick Lamar battle Joey Badass. I'm not interested at all with seeing Kendrick Lamar battle Joey Badass. So if Kendrick Lamar doesn't respond to these shots that Joey Badass is throwing at him, I wouldn't be mad at him. Kendrick is on a highly successful tour, probably the highest grossing. I think it is the highest grossing hip hop tour of all time. So it's breaking records right now. But Joey Badass, as talented as he is, he's just not on that level. And I can tell you, we don't care. I can tell you, we don't care if Kendrick responds to Joey Badass. All right. Let me tell you who does care. Let me tell you who does care. The OV hoes. The OV hoes. I saw something so ridiculous today, man. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. It's Flacco. Oh, I don't even know what's his name on here. Flacco. The guy from No Jumper. I saw his tweet earlier. I can't find it. I ain't even trying to waste time finding it. But Flacco, if you watch the No Jumper podcast, you're familiar with Flacco, right? Flacco is a big Drake stan. He's all on Drake nuts, right? There was a tweet that he put up today, and I'm going to read it to you because I can't find it. I know I screenshot and sent it to my homie. So this is what Flacco said, and his name is Poetic Flacco. Matt, hold on. Let me see if I can find it because I see his Twitter name now. Hold on, y'all. Poetic Flacco. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Hopefully, he still has this tweet up. Where did he put it? Now he wanna. I don't see he put it up. No, I think he took it down. I think no. Here it go. Hold on. Here it go. All right. So look at this. This thing says Kendrick Lamar like to rap until people who know how to rap want to rap. Kendrick been quiet like a church mouse ever since Joey Badass been outside. They fake demons until real demons show up. Joey, go back inside, man. That man's scared. And look at what I put right here. I said, so you're saying Drake can't rap? This didn't hit like you thought it did. Somebody else, shout out to Blue, Play Pizzy? It says, I don't like how this sound, nigga. Change your word. And Drake know how to rap. And I believe this one right here. Look at this tweet. It says, you OV hoes incels should be banned from being able to speak on anything rap, hip-hop related. Courtroom Poppy got court on June 30th. That's where y'all focus should be. Exactly. So my thing is this. The last time Kendrick Lamar got into a rap battle, somebody went to court. Which is Drake. The only people who care about Joey Badass going at Kendrick and Kendrick responding are the OV hoes, the Drake fans. They are still upset and they are still mad that Drake lost last year. Do you remember when Lil Wayne, there were rumors that Lil Wayne was going to respond to Kendrick Lamar, or diss rather, Kendrick Lamar? Joe Budden put that out. All the OV hoes like, he really don't want to with Wayne. Anybody who goes at Kendrick Lamar, they're going to say, oh, he's scared to respond to them and things like that. Y'all don't listen to no damn Joey Badass. And I'm not trying to, down Joey Badass. I think he's talented. But what the people who are gassing him up are the Drake fans, because they are still upset that he lost. So anybody who goes at Kendrick, they're going to support them all the way and claim, oh, and they say the dumbest things like Flacco just said. Flacco literally got on there and said he afraid to go at somebody who can really rap. So aren't you supposed to be on Drake's team, Flacco? You're saying that Drake can't rap? It didn't hit like you thought he did because you're saying stuff that's delusional. You're not even saying things right. That's how bad these OV hoes are in shambles. So yeah, man. We don't care, man. We don't. A lot of Kendrick fans, to be honest, may not even know who Joey Badass is. And if they were to go back and forth, the only person to benefit from it would be Joey Badass. The only person to benefit from it. See, you have to understand there's levels to this thing. Kendrick Lamar is a rap superstar, the biggest rap star on the planet as of right now, right? Joey Badass he's a good rapper, but he's not nearly as popular as Kendrick Lamar. They're on different levels. Joey Badass ain't even as popular as Big Sean. So why in the hell would somebody who's a heavyweight champion stoop down to a cruiserweight and have a match with him? For what? For one, he'd win. Kendrick would slaughter him. I already know that would be the case. And then for two, what benefit would it be? See, it was a benefit for Drake because Kendrick just didn't like him. And if you take down a big dog, that's a win. Kendrick taking down a big dog, which would be J. Cole, that will be a win. Hell, I give him, maybe, well, I ain't gonna say Wale and all that, but superstars and heavyweights don't have to go and fight someone who don't matter. And I think that Joey is a dope rapper, but ain't nobody gonna be on the edge of their seat seeing what Kendrick is gonna say to Joey Badass. We're not asking for it. The main point is who is asking for it. Now, as an MC, I know they always say, man, you ain't supposed to back down from nobody. Kendrick, Kendrick made the biggest rap diss song of all time that's still going through airwaves right now, called Not Like Us. Are you familiar with that song? He already has defeated the biggest rapper that was on the planet at the time, which was Drake. What the hell benefit does he have to go against Joey Badass? Let's be serious. Let's be honest. For real, for real. But anyway, like I said, nobody cares except the Drake fans. Y'all want somebody to get Kendrick. Oh, he afraid to bat? Really? Joey Badass? That's how low y'all gonna stoop? No disrespect. Respectfully. No. I can see if J. Cole was trying to go at Kendrick again. I'll be like, okay, that'll be a worthy opponent. But come on, man. Joey Badass? No. But anyway, let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. Do you want to see Joey Badass go against Kendrick Lamar? It's been a great competition in spar, but I think it's gonna stay between like the TDE artists and the other West Coast individuals and not Kendrick Lamar. But shout out to Joey Badass for coming with bars anyway. All right, so let's move on, man. Let's talk about this Megan Thee Stallion thing. So apparently, Megan Thee Stallion replies to Tory Lanez. Now, if you've been hiding under a rock, you know that Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times allegedly, and currently he's on bed rest right now, trying to get better. And his legal team has been providing evidence. Well, they've been coming up with different things saying that basically he should be free. He should be pardoned. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's evidence from Kelsey's bodyguard that Tory Lanez actually did not shoot Megan. So since that's been making its way to airwaves, Megan Thee Stallion responded to it, right? Let's see what Miss Megan Thee Stallion had to say about it. So Megan Thee Stallion calls Tory Lanez a demon, slams his fans for harassment. So she said this was, I guess, on her TikTok or something like that. She said, at what point are y'all going to stop making me have to relive being shot by Tory? At what point are Tory and y'all fans going to stop lying? Like, how much is the check to keep harassing me? 1 minute, y'all said I was never shot. Now y'all letting him play in y'all face again and say, well, again in all caps, and say I was shot, but it wasn't him. Oh, okay. So she kept going. Let me see. What else did she say? She said he was a demon. Facts are facts. He did it. It was proven in court. What she say? Tory, please leave me alone. You are a demon. So this is the thing, man. Listen, if Megan actually did, because I don't know what the hell. If Megan actually did get shot by Tory Lanez, we're still talking about this 5 years later, and it's so tiring. If she actually did get shot by Tory Lanez, I can understand the frustration. Tory didn't take the stand. Tory didn't take the stand and didn't want to snitch on Kelsey. Whatever the case may be, he did not take the stand and he's in jail. Right? Megan has been trying to move on with her life, whatever the case may be. So I can understand the frustration if he actually shot her. But if he did not shoot her and he's an innocent man in jail, Megan Thee Stallion is a piece of shit. Kelsey is a piece of shit. And something needs to be done about it, which is set the man free. But she's calling him a demon and saying, Tory, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm just asking, what actually is Tory doing? How is he being a demon? Because he got stabbed. He got stabbed, and his legal team is trying to get him out of jail because they feel like he's wrongfully in prison. That's what it is. So her lashing out on Tory, talking about, Tory, you're a demon. Leave me alone. it ain't like Tory said something from jail about it. I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in. Tory got stabbed, and all they're trying to do is just get him out of there because they're saying the fact that he didn't do this and he landed in there, his livelihood is at stake. His livelihood is at stake, and he's in there with actual criminals who did kill people, shoot people, and it was a Mexican, a person of like a Mexican gang that stabbed Tory up. So his legal team is like, let's get him the hell out of there. So I can't blame them from that. And then something else happened too. Let me share this with you all. So there's actually a Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Anna Paulina Luna calls for Tory Lanez's pardon, claims new evidence will prove his innocence. This is interesting. All right. She says, I'm calling on Governor Newsom of California to review Tory Lanez's case and issue a pardon. His 10-year sentence was based on flawed evidence, political pressure, and prosecutorial bias. Justice must be blind, not driven by headlines. Free Tory. That's interesting. And then she made this tweet earlier today, or a post, whatever. She said that new compelling evidence will be presented in the next 36 hours, which she believes will exonerate Tory Lanez. We will have compelling evidence proving Tory Lanez's innocence, and it will be released in the next 36 hours. Those who rush to call for his incarceration and worse yet, push false evidence should prepare to be held accountable. All right, so they're saying it's new evidence that shows that. So will Tory get out of jail? Will he be exonerated? You know, this interesting to see because the whole thing has been sketchy from the get-go. So yeah, if he did not do it, that's what I will say. If he did not do it and Megan knows that that man did not shoot her and he's wrongfully in jail, that's perjury. She went on the stand and testified and said that that was the man that shot her. So we're going to see what happens. But her going at Tory talking about he's a demon, I'm like, I just got stabbed. I'm not saying anything. My legal team is putting stuff together and finding things out. So y'all let me know in the comments. Do you think that Tory Lanez is going to be exonerated? Do you think Megan Thee Stallion was lying? Let me know in the comments what you all think. Let's move on. Let's talk about brother Denzel Washington. Shout out to everybody for watching right now. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ResView. So did y'all see Denzel Washington snapping on a reporter? A photographer. Excuse me. Did you see Denzel Washington snap on a photographer? Let me show y'all what happened. So Denzel was at was it Kane Festival or something like that? Or what'd you call it? Let me find this footage. Hold on, y'all. Give me just a second. Let me click back. Okay. All right. This is fair use, by the way. So he was at this. Denzel was not happy when a photographer grabbed his arm on the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. All right. So the Cannes Film Festival, this is the first time I heard of it. I think, yeah, Kelly Rowland was over there too. When she snapped on a reporter or something like that a while ago. So look at this, all right? And I ain't gonna play the sound, the music. It ain't no sound, it's just music playing. So this is Denzel on the red carpet, and you see that finger, he was pointing at somebody. That's the gentleman he was going at. So this was in Cannes, France. Dude, the reporter is right there, or the photographer rather, and Denzel had to snap on him. Now look what happened. This is gonna show the beginning from another viewpoint of what happened. Look at this. So you see, they're trying to get him. Denzel pointing at him, going off. He said, "Put your hands on me." He said something like that. He's pointing at both of them. Dude laughing, all that. All right. So Denzel had to snap on him, man. Denzel had to snap on him. You see, he's pointing at him, going off, and then moving his arm like, "Hey, let go, let go." So let me tell y'all something. This is the second time that this has happened. Something like this has happened as far as Denzel snapping on somebody on the red carpet. This is the second time this has happened within like a year. Wasn't it last year or was it earlier this year? Y'all remember when Denzel was at some red carpet or a film premiere? He was walking and then a reporter kept saying, Denzel, oh, you're not looking out for us or whatever. And he came back. He said, damn it, I told you I was going to come back out here. I told y'all that I was coming back out here. You just gotta wait, be patient, or something like that. That was funny. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Let me see. Denzel snaps on reporter. Let me see if I still got that. Yeah. Here we go. Here, I'm gonna share my screen, and then they got a commercial playing, but just a second. Let me see. So I'm not. No. Oh, this is the same one from today. I was trying to find that other one where he snapped from a while ago. Was this it?
Please, I think I meant for
You want to study under me?
Study under
Are
me?
you
No,
in
no, no.
school?
That ain't
Yes.
it. My
Well,
bad,
then
y'all.
finish school first.
Where is that, man? It was a while ago, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Is this it right here? Fair use, by the way. Fair use. This is it. This is it. Let me fast forward. Here we go.
You talk about showing love and I got nothing but respecting me. Oh, we always do. All right. I said I'll see you when I get out. Which part of that don't y'all understand? Or not. Or not. We can do it another way. Either way.
Way out.
I can do it both ways, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. So Denzel had to snap, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. Denzel is at the age where he has short patience. Denzel ain't got no time to be telling you something twice. Denzel got one more ass whooping left in him. He's 70 now, 70, 71. Denzel, like, when you get older, you have less patience. You have way less patience. So this is the second time he didn't have to snap on a photographer, reporter. You heard him say, man, y'all talking about I ain't showing no love. I always got love. I told you that I come back when I get out of here. So yeah, Denzel been snapping, man. This first time we've been seeing this, so y'all better leave Denzel alone. Y'all better leave Denzel Washington alone. All right, man. This is the last thing I want to cover. I ain't gonna have y'all on all night. All right. Last thing I want to cover. Do the greatest artists come from the Midwest? Do the greatest artists come from the Midwest region? Now, of course, when we say Midwest, we're talking about Illinois, like Chicago, Ohio, the Midwest states, right? Minnesota, all that, right? The reason that I'm asking that, Indiana, is because I was thinking one day, I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys, and I was like, man, because he's from St. Louis, shout out to Missouri. And I was discussing with him as far as some of the greatest artists, where do they come from? Something that the Midwest has is some of the biggest artists and most influential, impactful artists of all time. The Midwest has the highest selling artists that came from there as far as the region of all time. So let's think about who comes from the Midwest. Let's start on the pop side. Michael Jackson, the most known, popular, most successful artist ever. Michael Jackson. He's like the McDonald's of the music industry. Michael Jackson. He comes from Gary, Indiana. You got Prince. He comes from the Midwest. All right. Why don't you purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? So anyway, he comes from Minnesota, right? When we think about what I feel or who I feel is the greatest R&B, the king of R&B, even though he's locked up, R. Kelly. R. Kelly comes from Chicago. So we already got a three-headed monster right there. You got Michael Jackson, the biggest artist of all time, R. Kelly, the king of R&B, my favorite, or I think like the greatest R&B singer of all time as far as diversity. You got Prince. Let's look at the hip-hop side. You got Kanye, you got Eminem, you got rap group Rise, you got Bone Thugs and Harmony, the most influential rap groups of all time. So the Midwest, when you think about the greatest artists, and you could go old school, you got the Ohio players, you can look at a bunch of people, but those, just Michael Jackson or R. Kelly right there, I mean, yeah, that's a lot. So is it fair to say that the Midwest, and I'm just trying to think of some other ones. Now, hip hop, you got Nelly. Those are some of the highest selling rappers of all time, like Nelly, Bone. Who else? Like I said, Kanye. Who else do we have from the Midwest as far as rappers? But I know like R&B artists, like I said, like Chicago. Come on, we got R. Kelly, and then like I said, Michael Jackson came from from Indiana. So when you look at it and look at those artists, is it fair to say that? And in the back, look at that. I got Midwest artists back there. We got Prince and Michael Jackson at the top, and then you got Bone Thugs right under Michael Jackson. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do the greatest artists come from the Midwest? Like I said, Michael Jackson, Thriller is the highest selling album, period. I was about to say pop album, R&B album, just album, period. That is the highest selling record of all time. And he comes from Gary, Indiana. So if you agree with me, why do you think the Midwest? Why do you think the Midwest has the most successful artists of all time, or a lot of successful artists? You got New York, you got different regions. I'm not trying to count anybody out. I'm just saying like the biggest artists, right? The reason I feel that way is because the Midwest, even I'm a Southern boy, right? But I think it's because the Midwest is right in the middle where, you could be on the East, you could be close to the West, close to the South. It's a mixture of everything. So they have a lot of different influences and different things like that to make them pop as a coast. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the hip hop side, they've never had a Midwest movement per se, but they've had individual artists that have had astronomical success when you look at it, right? They've had R&B artists, and pop artists who've had astronomical success and all that good stuff. So I think it's just because they're in the middle of everything. They have their own style and they just have the perfect blend of everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's something to think about. But do you agree with me? Do the Midwest, does that region have some of the greatest artists of all time? Let me know in the comment section what you think. All right. And that's all, man. I didn't want to be on here for too long. I got some stuff that I got to do. But thank you, everyone who did join in for Red's View this week's episode. I will be uploading the clips later. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/Red's View. Also follow me on Instagram at JAYR3D and also on TikTok at The Real J Red. Have fun with y'all. J Red, Red's View, and I'm signing out. Peace.